All right, in this example, we're going to look at how to set up and solve a long division problem, and then we'll also look at this using synthetic division. So to get started here, we have x plus 5 that's being divided into x to the third plus 7x squared plus 2x minus 40. Here is how long division starts. You take the lead coefficient of the dividend divided by the lead coefficient of the divisor. So in other words, we need to look at x to the third divided by x, and that is x squared, and that tells us the first term of the quotient. So whatever this division works out to be is going to be the first term that goes up top here. The stuff up top here is called the quotient. All right, so let's get rid of this stuff now. And the next step says to take this x squared and distribute. We're going to distribute the x squared to both terms of the divisor. So x squared times x, that makes x to the third. And x squared times 5, that makes a plus 5x squared. Okay? So we distribute the x squared, and that gives us the x to the third plus 5x squared. So far, so good? Now, the next step says, draw the line, change the sign. That's because we're having to subtract, and the easiest way to remember that is draw the line, change the sign. It'll work every time. And then we're going to combine. All right, so we're going to have x cubed minus x cubed. Those cancel. 7 minus 5 is 2x squared. And then the plus 2x drops down. And then we're going to rinse and repeat. Now what that means, it means now we're going to take the 2x squared and divide it by the x. Okay, we're looking at 2x squared divided by x. That's going to leave us 2x. And that gives us the next term of the quotient. So up top, we're going to need a 2x. All right, so now if we could erase this stuff we used to get that, and erase that and that. Now the next step, again, is to distribute. So now the 2x is going to need to distribute. 2x times x, that's going to give us a 2x squared. 2x times 5, that is a plus 10x. That's the distributive property. And remember, the next step says draw the line, change the sign. Draw the line, change the sign, and then combine. 2x squared minus 2x squared, cancel. 2x minus 10x, that is a negative 8x. And now the negative 40 can drop. And now it's time to rinse and repeat. All right, so this will be the last time through. We're going to take now negative 8x divided by x. Okay? So negative 8x divided by x, those x's are going to cancel, leaving negative 8. And that is the last term of the quotient. The negative 8 is then going to need to distribute. So the next step would be to take the negative 8 and distribute. Okay? So again, let's get rid of this stuff I wrote down here. And if we distribute negative 8 times x, that gives us a negative 8x. Negative 8 times 5, that gives negative 40. And then remember what comes next. We're going to draw the line and change the sign. So those now become pluses. and then combine. Negative 8x plus 8x, those cancel. Negative 40 plus 40 is 0. That's the remainder. So we're going to get a 0 remainder, and our quotient is x squared plus 2x minus 8. And that is the step-by-step walkthrough of long division. Okay, so now for the second part, we're now going to look at this using synthetic division. So when you're doing synthetic division, the first step says you take the divisor, you're going to set that equal to 0 and solve. Okay, so we're going to set x plus 5 equal to 0. Moving the plus 5 over makes it negative 5. And then this negative 5, we're going to put that in a box. Then we're going to come up here to the dividend, and we're going to grab the coefficients, okay? So let's do green. The coefficients, that would be 1, 7, 2, and negative 40. I need to take all of those coefficients, 1, 7, 2, and negative 40, and I'm going to write those next to the box. And then we're going to draw a line down here, and this gets us set up and ready to go for synthetic division. Now, for the steps for synthetic division, the first step is to bring down this first number. Here the 1 drops down. If this was a 2, it would still drop down. Whatever it is, it drops. And then numbers that are below the line get multiplied by the number in the box. So negative 5 times 1 makes negative 5. Do you see where that goes? Above the line. Numbers that are above the line get added. So 7 plus negative 5, that's 2. Remember, numbers below the line get multiplied. So negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Numbers above the line get added. 2 plus a negative 10, that's negative 8. And then the negative 8 multiplies by the negative 5. Negative times the negative makes a positive 40. And then these get added. Okay, so then here with our synthetic division, again, the last number is the remainder. The 1, the 2, the negative 8, those are the coefficients of the quotient. And so if we come up here and look at the quotient that we got earlier, we got x squared plus 2x minus 8. If we come down here, you're going to see that this is now 1x squared. That is a plus 2x and a minus 8. Okay, so we get the same quotient and remainder using long division. And if you're wondering, well, how did I know that that was an x squared? This coefficient is always going to be attached to a variable that has an exponent 1 smaller than the dividend. So if you start with x to the third, then your quotient is going to be x squared, okay? Or if you started with x to the fourth, then this first term would be an x to the third here. See how that works? The quotient is always 1 degree less than the dividend. All right, I hope all that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.